Hey, Boy Manning here, Josue Pavon. Welcome to the Garden Report, a pregame edition. We're out here at Barclays Center, and we're going to talk Ben Simmons, and coincidentally, just got here to Barclays Center, and Woj dropped a tweet that Sean Marks, Nets leadership, had a meeting with Ben Simmons to discuss how they were going to clear both physical and emotional hurdles of getting back to the court. Now, the last 2 months or so here, the term they used was a sore back. Got a back injection. There was a physical ailment the whole time. We never heard about the mental hurdles, other than his first press conference when he arrived in Brooklyn, saying he had to get right in order to get back on the court with Philadelphia. But we never heard that being a hindrance to his return to the Nets. And then late last night, as we predicted, Simmons and the Nets announced that he wasn't going to play in the Game 4. It seemed like that was the plan, and it's not going to happen here. And Steve Nash this morning, you were at shootaround, said he's not sure if it's going to happen in Game 5 either. It doesn't seem like he's going to return at all this year.
He said he wasn't expecting that to happen, which was really transparent of Steve Nash, but I guess we appreciate that because that was what everyone was sort of thinking, right? It was, the writing was on the wall. Didn't seem like he was going to play, and then especially after the Nets losing Game 3, it's like, man, this 3-0 hole is probably the worst scenario for him to be in, you know what I mean, to put him in that mess. So yeah, it's not surprising. I'm glad Steve Nash was as honest as he was because it shows where his head was at, what do you call it? Like getting ready for the series, and getting ready for what the future's going to hold, because we're not gonna know what's going to happen. I'm hoping that Ben Simmons is still planning to be a member of the Nets for the future, but I think this is sort of what we all expected, that we weren't going to see him in this series.
I don't know if we all expected. I mean, John said
after Game 3. I mean, Bobby. Maybe not
once
before
we got
the series.
to this point.
Yeah, once we got to this point, and after they were, Celtics. Let's face it, that wasn't necessarily a blowout, but Celtics they had them in control throughout that Game 3. So it's after that you were like, where does Ben Simmons fit here? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, and the mixed messaging too. Nash saying that they want him to feel like he can be ready to return. That was his messaging the whole way, and then it really seemed like, coming from the Nets side, through reports of Shams and Woj and all the rest, that they were planning to have him out there for Game 4. And then it seemed like he pumped the brakes on that. Now, who knows what's going on behind the scenes and what the back and forth has been. Obviously, Clutch is involved now. So who knows what to make of all of this. You got to take Simmons at his word. There's clearly mental hurdles he's trying to overcome at this point. Like, how can you argue that? But the one thing you will say is this guy does have a platform. He's spoken to reporters. He could even put it out himself through his team and everything else and just let people know that that's the issue.
Right.
If he made it clear from the day he arrived in Brooklyn that he's still working through those mental issues and he'll come back when he feels ready, wouldn't even be a discussion.
Yeah, but then, Bobby, that would be a bad PR move on their part, because then Nets fans are saying, well, why did you trade for this guy? Why not do the Sacramento Kings route, which we've been talking about the last couple of months? I mean, Halliburton, we saw what it did for Indiana. Look, we're not quite sure the specifics of that deal if something were to happen, but at the end of the day, it would be a bad move to say, yeah, we went into this deal thinking that there's a good chance Ben Simmons is not going to play.
I'm just talking Simmons. I mean, he's the one with the platform.
Yeah.
Like, he can come out there and make it clear, answer the questions.
Maybe after the trade.
Like, he's been largely silent throughout this. In my mind, I think he's only spoken twice since arriving in Brooklyn. Yeah. So he leaves that for speculation. He's getting killed today.
You think he's going to be on the bench today? I don't know.
He'll be on the bench. He'll be on the bench for sure. I mean, it's clear to me that he wants to be part of this team. But at some point, you have to get out there. Like, it was like, all right, maybe he doesn't want to return to Philadelphia. Oh, maybe he wants to be at home. Maybe he wants Kyrie back. All these different things. What would be the sweet spot for his return? But he just had to get out there. And I agree. The playoffs wasn't the time to do that. I said coming into the series, like, this is too much. You think he's going to come off the street a year off from basketball and stop Tatum? It just wasn't realistic.
Right.
But he had 2 months. And, maybe he was hurt. Maybe the injection, I believe all that. But it's still so weird that they had 2 months to put this together, and they never really seemed to have a plan to get him on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, look, what Steve Nash said today, I think speaks volumes. It shows that he was, well, I don't know, whatever percentage you want to use, but 80, 85% sure going into the series, and I'm sure that bumped up to 99% after they were down 2-0, or never mind when they were down 3-0. I mean, look, if they're up 2-0, you think there's a possibility he may have played? Maybe. I just think his headspace, the way this series has turned out for the Nets, it's all relative as to why he wasn't going to play and why we thought that right after the Celtics won Game 3 and had a 3-0 lead.
We'll see Game 4 if the Nets can keep themselves alive, if Simmons could factor in later in the series if they extended it all. But it could end here tonight,
Yeah,
Barclays Center.
We also got to see if we can get you a broom. What's that? Is this a store around here? I got a broom for Bobby because you were talking sweet before anybody on the post-game show, you know, so I think that'd be appropriate. We'll see.
Of course, show our friends at com.com/garden, helping us get out here, cover this whole series in Brooklyn, as well as back in Boston. 40% off a premium subscription for yoga, meditation, sleep sounds, everything you need to relax. Of course, they're a great sponsor for the Garden Report, and we'll be live after Game 4, Celtics postgame. Bobby Manning, John, Jimmy, Sherrod, who's here in Brooklyn as well, and Josue. We will see you, 7 o'clock tip, inside Barclays Center, Celtics CLNS on Twitter, and CLNS Media on Instagram. Garden Report brought to you by HelloFresh. Head to HelloFresh.com/banner16 for up to 16 free meals.
That's right.
And 3 free special gifts. It's all free. Go over there. We were checking out the options, meat, vegetarian options, healthy.
For everybody. Really.
Healthy kit, a little bit of thing for everyone. So go get it, try it for free. HelloFresh.com/banner16, America's #1 meal kit.